Well, the time has finally come for the final weekly update of the off-season. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Phillies and Stove Media, and today we're going to have our 19th and final weekly update of the off-season. As we're going to be talking about some Phillies news and some all-around baseball news. Then, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please show engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. So we have a new CBA. If you did not go check out my video on Thursday night, you could go check it out. Baseball is back video. It was really exciting. By far the most exciting video I have made since November. Because every video since then, it's just been so sad. It's just been so sad. Very sad news, and it is finally over. It is finally over. We do not have to worry about it anymore. There's an agreement. It's hard to believe they finally did it. I'm surprised it went on this long, but I just said that I just can't really see the season. Of course, it has been a little bit affected, but I just this is what I kind of thought would happen. They don't really want to lose out too much, especially after losing out in 2020, and they don't. Of course, the owners are going to take a little bit of a hit because of what happened here in spring training. It's not going to be like a major loss, you know what I mean? Of course, the players have really had no financial setback whatsoever. So they're not hurting at all, in spring training because they don't get paid during spring training. But tomorrow is the official report date. Everybody's there. Bryce is there. Reese is there. JT is there. Everybody's there. But the only one that really isn't there is Ranger Suarez. We'll get to that in a little bit. But, some drama, right? It was pretty much the same thing that happened last week. Where they were really close to, coming to a deal. They were meeting for like 16 hours, and it just fell apart. The next day they come back. Oh, no, now no agreement. Oh, we have to cancel some more regular season games. Then the next day they come back. They agree on the international draft until July 5th to come to an agreement on that. And that would eliminate the qualifying offer. So they come to an agreement on that. And the CBT, the minimum salary, all the other stuff, the pre-rotation bonus pool, pretty much neck and neck. It was kind of petty there for a little while. It's like the numbers are pretty much like $2 million apart, especially in the first year of the CBT. They finally compromised. And both sides caved. As I said, and this is pretty much stuff I covered on Thursday. The owners caved more. The owners did the significant more caving over the players. The players also caved on some issues, but I would definitely say the owners caved more. Something very interesting. Rob Manfred never, came out and said the words "cancel series." He did the first time. He did say in his first time comments, "I'm going to have to cancel some regular season games." But the second time, he never used the word "cancel." So when he went back and postponed 2 more series that were undone. Rob Manfred went back, and now those series are back in place. The Phillies will open up the season April 8th against the Oakland Athletics, their first spring training game. Next Friday against the Detroit Tigers in Lakewood, and that's where they opened spring training last year, which is something very interesting. People are asking me, is the game going to be televised? Probably not. It's a road game, first game of spring training, has the recipe of not being televised. Might be on the radio, but I think it's ridiculous. Here in 2022, as I pretty much have talked about every single year covering Phillies baseball since 2019. Why is not every single spring training game on TV? I think it's just so ridiculous. I don't understand it. We live in 2022, a world of technology, a world of improvement. Why in the world do we not have every single spring training game televised? It's just so ridiculous. I'm sure it has something to do with money. I'm sure of that. Some Phillies news. Kevin Franzen, the radio, color commentator, mostly on the road. As Larry Anderson is still going to be at home. Of course, he left to go to Mid-Atlantic Sports Network. Masson of the Washington Nationals to replace F.P. Santangelo, who was essentially fired after some sexual harassment claims, and it would turn to be false, and his contract was up, and they did not bring him back. Technically, they just let him go. They didn't renew his contract. But I tell you what, if they wanted to keep him, they could have kept him, and they didn't. So essentially, I guess he was fired. He'll be alongside with Bob Carpenter. That was, I think that happened in January. So Kevin Franzen has been gone, and the Phillies brought in some new replacements. Some familiar names. They announced that Michael Bourne, Chad Durbin, Eric Kratz, and Kevin Stoker will alternate as road analysis in 2022. So you all remember the name Michael Bourne. A lot of people do not know that Michael Bourne did play for the Phillies. Yes, he did. In 2007, he was a member of the Philadelphia Phillies, and he was involved in the Brad Lidge trade. So that's when he went to Houston. This guy could run. Michael Bourne, that guy, he spent some time with the Braves, the Indians. I believe he ended his career in Baltimore in 2016. This guy could run, right? So Michael Bourne a road color analysis, right? And Eric Kratz, we all know Eric Kratz. It reminds me kind of like the 2013 era of the Phillies, right? That kind of just lousy era of Phillies baseball. So you're going to hear some new voices in the Phillies booth on the radio. I'm looking forward to that. And also the Phillies, before the lockout, agreed to some minor league deals with several players. These players include right-handed pitcher Aaron Barrett, outfielder John Andreoli, outfielder Justin Williams, right-handed pitcher James Marvel, shortstop Drew Mankey, first baseman Joe Genyard, and catcher Carl Ellison. So welcome to Philadelphia. You all know Aaron Barrett, played with the Washington Nationals, was out from 2015 to 2019. He comes back. It was a great story. Remember, he was at practice at AAA, and his skipper came up to him and said, "You're going back to the big leagues." He was crying, and there's a nice story with Aaron Barrett. It really is. And a lot of Nationals fans felt a lot of sadness when he did sign with the Phillies. So the Phillies get Aaron Barrett, again, former National. So he's coming over on a minor league deal. That's definitely the biggest name out of those players. So maybe that's a name you're definitely going to see him in spring training. There's no doubt about that. Maybe he gets cut before the season, who knows. But the Phillies is taking a chance on a guy. And also, this has gotten some funny news. I hope you all feel entitled by me saying this. I'm sure you're going to laugh once I read this. According to Todd Zalecki, former Phillies infielder Sean Rodriguez, we all remember the legendary, infamous Sean Rodriguez. Oh my goodness gracious, he is infamous, that is correct. Is back in the Phillies organization as a minor league coach. What a joke. What an absolute joke. So I hope you all feel entitled. All right, if you do not know where that comes from, in August of 2019 when he hit a walk-off home run. Of course, this was when I was covering the Phillies. I remember this game very, very well. I remember at this point in 2019, he was again against his former team, the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he was awful. He was doing terrible. He was just doing terrible. And the Phillies are in extra innings, hits that walk-off home run. After the game comes, this was a little interview with some reporters. He said that Phillies fans should feel entitled. Almost like, he was pumping himself up because he did something good. And, he did something good. That was the most ridiculous thing ever. And then the next day he comes back and he gets booed, as he should have been. So he texts the Phillies fans. I understand they're not the easiest fans to play in front of. We're not. But he comes in and, hits a walk-off home run and then attacks us. And I never forget, I think this may have been a couple days later, he hit a double off the right field wall, and he gets booed. It was the funniest thing. I think it was a pinch hit double, and he gets booed. The Phillies fans are booing their own player for hitting a double, which was the funniest thing ever. But he deserved it, man. Sean Rodriguez, not a popular name here in Philadelphia, for calling out the fans. We do not forget. We do not have short memories here in Philly. So Sean Rodriguez back in the Phillies organization, which is something very, very funny. Also, I did make a post talking about Major League Baseball and the Players Association. And I talked about how they only care about fans when they are not coming to the ballpark. You know what happens when fans do not show up to the ballpark? Guess what they don't get? Money. And yes, they finally did the right thing, but they did it to help themselves. I'm not going to keep harping back on this. It's over. It is done. But they still do not care about the fans. As the sign said, I think this is 94. Players win, owners win, fans lose. And that's exactly right. It all worked out in the end, but they still don't care about us. I mean, that is true, but we got to move on. We got to move on. I'm still not going to cover the All-Star game just because of all that happened and, things of that nature. And, I'm going to play it by ear. That's what I plan on doing. It may change. But as I talked about before, the Phillies will play their first spring training game next Friday against the Detroit Tigers in Lakeland. So get ready for that. It's going to be very, very exciting. So in their final spring training game against the Tampa Bay Rays at the Trop, right? So that's going to be an exhibition game. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So that's going to be at the Trop. And if you don't remember that, I mean, they occasionally will do that at the end of spring training. They didn't do it in 2021, I think, to limit travel. But usually like the last 2 games or so of spring training, they will go to big league ballparks. And have like almost like an exhibition game, if you will. I mean, it's a spring training game, but it's at a big league ballpark, which is pretty cool. So we're going to do that this year at the Trop. So the way the spring training schedule will go, I'm going to make a video about that after this video, talking all about that, about how spring training is going to go, a little spring training preview. But David Dombrowski, spring training has resumed, and Dave Dombrowski has a lot of work to do. He needs to bolster his bullpen. Talked about this last night. Bolster this bullpen. It needs a lot of help. It needs a lot of work. It needs a lot of work, man. I mean, this bullpen is in dire need of help. We need to fill a vacant spot, a vacant hole in center field, and the market out there is very, very weak. I'm not too worried about left field. As I said, surplus in the corner outfield spots. Shortstop is a question mark. The left side of the field is a question mark. It definitely is. I mean, Didi, they're not going to trade him. I mean, who wants him? I mean, I think honestly they'd love to just send him away just for nothing, for some random minor leaguer. But guess what? And you know that they've probably tried that, but no one wants him. No one wants him. Can you blame these other teams for not wanting him? He is just absolutely terrible, especially now at the universal DH. Do you see Alec Bohm there? I do. I think Chris Bryant would be a name that could float around there. Harper connection probably would take a discount now, not only because Harp's on the team, but especially because of the fact that he is eager to sign a deal, eager to get into camp, eager to begin the season, and this is when this lockout did help the Phillies a little bit, getting some discounts on some players. But they're almost like damaged goods in some way. They're just eager to sign, no question about that. And Ranger Suarez, some not so good news, showing up late to camp. Now, I remember back in like late February, right before the calendar was about to turn over to March 1st, CBA was reportedly close to being done by then, and it wasn't, of course. And the report date then was scheduled for February 28th, and the Phillies command said if the report date is February 28th, Ranger Suarez cannot arrive on time. And guess what? The report date is now March 13th, which is tomorrow, and guess what? He still can't arrive on time. So it's not good. It's not good. This is a guy that's going to be crucial for our rotation this year. I love this guy. He took a huge step in 2021 after showing a lot of promise in 2019. Had a the horrible 2020 season was restricted, and when he was on the mound, he wasn't good. It's like the 2 games that he pitched, and he was unbelievable in 2021. I can't wait to see what he does here in 2022. I'm very, very excited to see this guy pitch, and it's disappointing. As I said, this is another example of some damaged goods. I mean, not getting a proper spring training. Of course, nobody's going to get a proper spring training, but he's going to be kind of coming into camp a few steps back from everybody else, which is not good. This is just not good, and it's going to take some time to recover from that. So hopefully he gets in as soon as possible. So I'm definitely disappointed to hear about that. Just a friendly reminder, Phillies Hats to Media is available on YouTube, MP4 file, the only place you can find me with video. It's also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify. You can also find me on Anchor if you'd like. So I appreciate if you go check that out. I also got a website, the weekly article. If you're interested in writing one, please let me know. That's also in the description section. So that is it. The final weekly update. Dave Dombrowski, get to work. It's going to be very interesting, right? Spring training is going to be going on. We're going to continue playing games, and there's going to be signings. This is going to be a very fun couple weeks here, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a fun season. So I appreciate you, again, for sticking with me during these weekly updates, the 19th and final one. So the final one should have been like 3 weeks ago, but it's over. That is it, the final weekly update. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please engage the bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the social media, link in the description section. Phillies Hats Media, Instagram, check Instagram. Follow me on Twitter at @PeonStoveMedia. Call or text 267-225-3292. Email me. PhilliesHatsStoveMedia@gmail.com. So guys, thanks so much for watching. Spring training preview coming up next. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I'll see you guys.